it's Esther here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below so you can stay in touch with all of our fun videos. If you're already subscribed, then welcome back. Alright, so today from You Can Tell, the title says that we're doing a wash day routine, and this is my winter wash day routine because my summer one's not totally different, but I use more products and they're kind of different products. So this is my winter one just because the air is drier. I already went ahead and co-washed, and I'll explain what that is in a sec. And then I also divided my hair up into 4 sections, and obviously my hair was wet, so I got my shirt wet. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll kind of talk as I'm doing it. And if I don't look at you, it's because I'm looking at myself, because I can't do this and not look at myself in the mirror at the same time. So I already co-washed my hair. And co-washing is just whenever you use conditioner to wash your scalp. Because as a curly-headed girl or curly-headed guy, you don't produce as much oils at the end. So when you have straight hair, your hair produces oils on your head. And because you have straight hair, it travels from your scalp all the way down your roots. But when your hair is curly, it doesn't travel as well because obviously you have the coils it has to go down through. So if you use regular shampoo, it'll strip your hair of all the oils you get and it'll never get to the end. So that's what us curly-headed people do co-wash. And I use Aussie's Moist. I think it's it's in a purple bottle and it's like $6 and it's like this big. It's huge. And I'll have a picture of that on this side so you guys can see what that's like. I was going to show you guys, but I ran out. So I want to try a couple different other co-washes from other brands, but that was the cheapest, so I've been using that for the last 2 years, and now venturing out to different things. And then after I co-washed, I detangled my hair, and then co-washed, and then rinsed it out, and then divided my hair into 4 sections, and now we're doing the deep conditioner part, and this is probably the most important part about having curly hair, because it's what puts moisture back in your head. I use Shea Moistures, and I've got hair on my hand because I also shed like a dog. It's Manuka Honey and Murfura Oil Intensive Hydrating Hair Mask. Probably butchered that, sorry. But there'll also be a picture of that on this side so you guys can see what it's like. This is one of their newer lines. I think it's only been out for a year. Not even a year, I don't think. And I am obsessed with it. It is literally their whole line, everything that Shea Moisture does is literally my favorite. They're a great company. It's a great brand. I don't think I've ever had anything I've hated. There's been a couple things that are my favorite, but I've never hated any of their products. And this is really moisturizing. It feels so silky smooth whenever I rinse it out of my hair. And everybody knows that a good balance, if you didn't know, a good balance for your hair is you need protein and moisture. So I try to do about 3 moistures to 1 protein. So this is my moisture day, and I try to usually do this about twice a week, so every 3 to 4 days. Sometimes I get lazy or busy or just don't want to do it because it's a long process. So sometimes I'll go stretch it a little longer. But and I use different products also for my protein day, and I'll probably do a wash day protein day in the future. But for my moisturizing day, I use a co-wash, then I rinse that out, and then I use this in my hair, and I leave it on for an hour. I know there's a lot of controversy on whether you should leave it overnight or do 30 minutes or an hour. I just don't feel like 30 minutes is enough. If I'm spending money on this stuff, 30 minutes is not enough for me. I want to do the full hour, and I usually do things around the apartment while it's going on. Let me show you how much. Let me take some of this hair off here. And show you how much I use. Different amounts everybody does different amounts. I learned a lot in the last 2 years of doing this, and in my first year, I feel like I used a lot of product, especially my first few months. I just feel like I was using way too much product. So it's kind of wasteful, but you learn as you go, and you know what you're comfortable with. So it's okay if you make a couple mistakes. No one's mad at you. So here is how much, I literally just scoop it up with my hand. And this is how much, I don't know if you can see it, but this is about how much I use. It literally, I'm going to try to, it's about a quarter, if I had to guess. It's about a quarter size. And then I rub it in my hands, and I just run it throughout my hair. And I use my fingers. Fingers are your best friend. I use my fingers to spread it all out. I don't use a brush very often, if ever. I maybe use a brush whenever I'm detangling. I use a detangling brush at the very end just to make sure I got everything out. But I don't use a lot of detangling brushes or anything else other than detangling brush. Because that's what your fingers are for. God gave you these. So I go ahead and after I'm done with that section, I just twirl it and put a clip in it. And these literally are probably like 50 cents. Like, I'm pretty sure I bought them for like $1 for like 100 of these. Just kidding. That wouldn't even equate to 50 cents. But they were really cheap, is what I'm trying to say. So just get yourself some cheap clips and they can hold your hair up. And then I try to take some of the excess water off. That's another thing. I do my deep conditionings with wet hair. I think it just works better. I don't know if there's any science behind that. I'm not even sure if that is the best way. But for me personally, it just works best with wet hair. So I try to drain some of the excess water off, and then I grab my scoop, and like I said, it's different for everyone. And then I don't really have a technique either. Sometimes I'll start from the bottom, sometimes I'll start from the top, as long as I get it everywhere, and I can feel that it's everywhere. And it literally goes on like butter. Like, it's so smooth, and it's so soft, and it smells really good. And then after I'm done, it depends what I'm doing or how I'm feeling, but usually I take all the clips out and then I'll make a bun with it so that I don't have all these clips like holding onto my head, because it doesn't hurt, but it's not necessarily comfortable. So I take all my clips out and I shake my head a little bit so that these little twists that I made kind of fall out, and then I will do one more scoop of the conditioner and then rub it all over my head. And especially in like my front parts, like around my edges, I feel like that's where I get the driest hair. And then also like right in my crown area right here, I always try to put a little extra because I feel like I need some extra TLC. And then I pull it all back. And as you can tell, it doesn't even look like I have like anything in there because I don't use that much product. And also it kind of melts into your hair really well. But like I said, you'll learn how much you need. It's different for everyone. And then I kind of do the same thing as I was doing in the little buns, but I do it in the whole thing. And then I take one of my clips and I clip it in. All right, so I'll see you guys in an hour. Hey guys, so I went ahead and rinsed off the deep conditioner and it felt so silky smooth. It was amazing. Seriously, one of my favorite deep conditioners, so I would definitely recommend it. So, I just dropped my clip. So, after I rinse it off, I make sure that it's very well rinsed. There's no more product in my hair. And then I just divide it up in sections. And usually I only use one clip to divide it to do my style. And I grab about this much. It's only, just one thin layer. It's like right almost above my ears. And then I clip that section up. I'm going to grab my clip that I dropped on the ground. And then make sure that's secured, tied up there. Then I take extra water off of that as well. I don't leave it sopping wet. So I take some extra off of there, run my fingers through it, just make sure it's very well detangled. And then I get started. So what I do a leave-in and then a gel. And I used to do oil, but I played around with it and I used different ones and it just didn't work out for me very well. I did olive oil and that was too heavy. And then I did coconut oil and that was too heavy. And then I did olive oil and that was still too heavy. And I did grapeseed oil, and even though it was lighter, it just didn't feel like it was doing much for my hair. So I decided to just not use it. So this is the leave-in that I use. It's the Kinky Curly Not Today. I love this stuff. And I'll probably do a review on this product itself in the future. And I kind of shake it around. And then I usually do about a dime size amount. I'm not sure if you can see it from there, but a dime size amount on my hand for this section down here. And it's a pretty small section, so that's why I use a little bit less than I will as we get to the top of the hair. And I run that through, and I just very simply just run it through my hair, try to spread it around. If I feel like I still have too much water in my hair and it's still too wet, I'll go ahead and again just kind of wring it out and then take the excess water out. So I feel it, and it makes your hair feel so smooth. Seriously, it's so soft. Makes my hair feel like silk. Oh, it's amazing. I love it. And then after I feel like that's very well dispersed and it's all over my hair, then I go ahead, move this out of the way. Then I go ahead and take my gel, and I use the Eco Styler gel. This one is the olive oil one. They also have a white container one that I really like, but it's been kind of hard to find that lately. So I went back to just this one, and I'll do a review on this one as well in the future, so stay tuned for that. And on this one, I just kind of do the same thing as I do on the deep conditioner. I scoop it out, and then I use kind of the same size as I did for the deep conditioner. So I use about a dime size. And this is the part that differs the most from winter to summer. So for the summer one, I use so much more gel. And because it just, the air just sucks it up. So my hair gets frizzy faster, and my curls won't last as long unless I use it. So I can smell it, and it smells so good. I love the smell of this stuff. I think it smells so good. So for the winter, though, I don't use quite as much, because if I used as much for the winter as I do for the summer, my hair would be like a rock. Like, it would be so hard all the time, and it wouldn't kind of get fluffy and light like it does in the summer. So I split this up into 2 sections after I've rubbed it in my hands, and I use my right hand for my right side, and then I use my left hand for my left side, and then I just kind of mix them both. And I make sure that it's very well dispersed again, and then I run my fingers through it to kind of break it apart. And if you can tell, it's kind of, there's no clumps in there. It's kind of broken apart pretty well. And after I feel like I've done that enough, then I'll scrunch it. And sometimes I'll put a little bit of gel in my hand whenever I scrunch it, and then I scrunch it again on this side. Then if I feel like there's not enough in there to hold it until I'm done, then I'll put a little more gel in there. Or sometimes I'll be able to see frizzy areas of it. And I don't see any frizzy areas yet. If I do, then I'll grab them and twirl them with my finger. So after that part's done, then I wash my hands, because I don't want to go into a fresh piece of hair with gel already in my hands. So I'm going to wash my hands, and then I will do the leave-in conditioner afterwards. So I don't dry my hands off, I leave them wet. I kind of shake them a little to get some of the excess water off, but I'll use that on the new piece of hair. So when I get another section on this one, I kind of do the temple, a little higher than my temples. So about right here. And I do another line just with my fingers. I don't use a comb or anything. And I split that off. And then I do the same thing as I did before. I just clip this piece of my hair up top. I'm trying. There we go. So I clip this part of my hair on top. And I'll just do the same thing. I'll divide it in half. And I can already tell what I've done and what I haven't done, because the part that has the gel stays, A, it stays put, and B, it's not as frizzy. So, like this part right here, I can tell hasn't been used, and it also feels different. And then I do the same thing. I take the excess water off of there, and I twirl it, and I work with one side at a time. There's no really technique to this part. I use whatever side I think of first. So I twirled this side first this time. So let's do my right side. And again, you can see this doesn't have any product in it because it's really frizzy. And there's no product right here or here. And I think, oh, there's no product in that one. And I run my fingers through it to kind of detangle it a little bit, because it gets a little tangled up on this bun up here. And then I take all the excess water out. And I do it one more time. And then I go in with my Kinky Curly Knot Today. And because I have more hair this time, well, it feels to me like more hair. I would say it's more hair. I grab a little bigger. So not much more than a dime size. So maybe a penny size, I would say. So just a little bigger, and do the same thing I did before. So just kind of run that through, making sure I really focus on every strand. And as I do this, if I feel like my hair still has too much water, I'll still wring that out as well, because I don't want it to have too much water when I put the gel in there. So I make sure I get every single one. And then after that, I go and scoop in my gel, which I'll grab a little more. This is another, like I said, this is the same thing as the deep conditioner. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty clear. Everybody has a different amount. and you'll figure out what's comfortable for you based on what you've done before. And like if you keep doing it and practicing, you'll feel more comfortable and you'll see what your hair actually needs. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more because I feel like it's dried kind of on my hand there. And I split this up into two because this is too big of a section for me to work with. And I'll only do one section with what I grabbed. So I run that through, make sure I do from root to tip. And then I'll run my fingers to kind of break it apart because I don't want it to be all clumped together because then it'll dry like that and it does not look cute. And I want to have some volume in my hair. So I just run my fingers through it. And this may seem like it's taking me a long time because I'm talking as I'm doing it, but it goes by so fast. Like, you just get so used to doing it and you learn your own technique and you learn what works best for you. You'll fly by. It won't take long at all. So then I do the same thing. I go in and grab a little less than I did before just because the section's smaller and I got hair all over my hands. I should like a dog. I don't know why. So then I rub that through my hands and from root to tip. And now I gotta deal with the baby hairs over here on my edges. And I haven't found, not that I've looked really, but I haven't really found anything for my like edge control. I'm just afraid. I know that sounds weird, but I'm afraid it's gonna make me break out because it's like on my face, you know, those baby hairs like are right along your face. So I'm afraid that's gonna make me break out. So I haven't found anything yet that I really loved. I read a lot of reviews though, so stay tuned and maybe I'll find one and have a really good review on one that I become obsessed with. So I always grab, at the very end, I grab like a little bit, just a little tiny bit on the tip of my index finger and I rub it together with my thumb and then I just go through and kind of lay my edges down there. I use my thumb and my index finger for that. And this will work for like the first couple days, but then it doesn't last for much longer than the first or second day. Like it doesn't, I don't know if it's just because of the gel or maybe when I put my hair up in a pineapple and I wear like a silk bonnet, it doesn't work. I don't know what it is. So yeah, if you have any recommendations for edge control, make sure you comment that down below and I'll give them a try. All right, so we did that half already. And then we have this half over here. And I gotta make sure I grab everything. And we're literally just repeating the same steps. So I'm gonna wash my hands. Well, just rinse my hands from the gel because, like I said before, I don't want the gel for my hands to go on my hair, like on my fresh, clean hair, before I get a chance to put the leave-in. So let me rinse this off. And then, normally I wouldn't dry it if I was just splitting my hair, but since this part has already been split and it already has water in it, now I'm gonna go ahead and dry my hands because it doesn't need any more water. So, oops, I dropped it. We recovered it, we're good. So, I go ahead and squeeze some leave-in conditioner. This stuff is my favorite. I cannot wait to do a review over it. It is such a good product. It's a little pricier, but it's totally worth the money. And it's lasted me forever. And I use quite a bit. I mean, I'm not as heavy on my products now as I used to be, but girl, I still use more than probably the average person. So I'm just wringing out any extra water that's in there. And then I make sure that it's all spread out really well. And make sure I got it everywhere. And then I split it in half and twirl the front part. I always do the back first. And then grab some gel, rub it in my hands, and then put it on my hair. And I make sure I rub it in first from root to tip and then start going through with my fingers and breaking it apart. And I make sure none of my other hair touches. And I break it apart there. I don't know if you can see. And then I scrunch it up. Hey guys! Okay, so real talk. The video that I was doing with the actual putting the products in my hair got totally cut off. Don't know why. Technology's weird. But I'm filming at my friend's house because my apartment has terrible lighting and she's kind of pretty awesome with cameras. So I'm using her camera and she's helping me do all this stuff. But she had left and the baby was crying because she has a baby and then I didn't know what to do. So I went to go help the baby, but I didn't know about technology or cameras or any of that stuff. And it shut off by itself and I was so sad. And okay, so it's super dramatic. I don't know why it started cutting off, but you guys pretty much get the idea of what I do. I put leave-in conditioner first, and then I go in with the gel, rake my fingers through it, and then I scrunch it. That's literally the whole process. I'll do a video on the exact products in the future, just how I feel about them, why I started using them, what they claim to do, and if they actually do those things. But the point of today's video was just to let you see what my actual process is. As far as the winter goes, because the summer one's a little different. This is the end product. So usually in the summer it takes way longer to dry than in the winter. I don't know why. Science. I don't know. But I love how fluffy it looks. This is usually my first day hair. I will either do this really early in the morning before I go to work, or then like whatever day before that I have that's like a half day at work, or if I'm like off on a Saturday or Sunday, then I'll do this in the day and then just pineapple it at night. And for those of you that don't know what pineapple means, it literally means you make your head into a pineapple. Like you put all your hair on the top of your head, and it's like the little spiky parts of the pineapple, and then you wrap it up in either a satin scarf or a satin bonnet, and then you go to sleep. So, as you can tell, there's still like these little stinking ends that are here that are straight, which those are really annoying, and I get really frustrated, and I get really hard on myself because they won't curl. But because I have so much other curly hair, I just pretend that you can't see them, because I feel like you probably can't. This side curls better than this side does. And that's probably because this side just has more of my hair on it. So that's why I feel like this side probably can curl better, because it has less of my hair on it and it gets less frizzy because of it. And then all of the hair that's on the bottom is completely natural. So like there are no ends down here that are straight, or that have relaxers still on them. So I'm looking forward to a time when I'd have no relaxed ends, so that all of it can look like this down here. And so it'll be really exciting. Thanks for watching. Like I said before, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I won't want you missing out on all our fun adventures. And if you're already subscribed, thanks again.